Welcome, everybody, to that Wednesday show here on Omnibros Live, part of the Omnibus Collectors Network. It's your boy Geo here from A Week in Geekdom, joined by the always awesome Lou from Comics Guide. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, howdy. How's it going?
Doing pretty well. Pretty chill day. I
Mm-hmm.
got to watch the season finale of What If, and we can finally lay that to rest on this show and move on to other shows. But it was fun to pick it apart week after week. But I was excited to see how the damn thing ended.
Yeah.
So there's that. And we got some other topics for you guys. Shout out to the chat. Everybody's tuning in right now. Little by little, they're trickling in. So thank you, everybody, for supporting your Omnibros on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Before we get started, let me get this out of the way and give a shout out to the sponsor of this stream, and that is, of course, InStockTrades.com. IST, as we like to say, where you get your collected editions, whether it's an omnibus, trade paperback, absolute, a epic collection, a manga, whatever it may be when it comes to collected editions, you find it at InStockTrades.com. 50% discounts, and $50 or more gets you free shipping, all that wonderful stuff, wonderful packaging, and great customer service. That's when you go to InStockTrades.com, our wonderful sponsor. And speaking of wonderful things, Lou, why don't you tell everybody about our Patreon?
Yes, sir. So that would be patreon.com/ Omnibros Live, where for $5 a month, you can join Gabe and I in what is called the Campfire. So it's a bunch of us. We gather around with a bunch of fans, and we have a Zoom conference. $5 a month. $5 a month gets you the invitation to that exclusive Zoom conference where, for about 2 hours, give or take, Gabe and I shoot the shit with all of you guys. And on top of that, you also get the archive of all those accounts, of all those videos, that we have already recorded.
Mm-hmm.
The campfire is a little bit different because since it is behind a paywall, Gabe and I pretty much can say whatever the hell we want. Versus here, where we kind of we
Keep it
tiptoe
PG.
around. Yeah, as much as we can. We tiptoe around a lot of stuff here. So that's for $5 a month. You can find the link down below in the description, guys. It would really, really help us out a lot. We appreciate everybody that does it.
There you go, everybody. Uh, Sasmer, thank you for joining. If you need a new show, Geo, check out Squid Game. Completely insane. I'm probably the only one who hasn't checked that show out, simply because I'm not a huge fan of Netflix. But I'll check it out eventually, and we can talk about it. I don't know. We'll do a whole Squid show. We'll do a Squid Game stream while I play Splatoon, which is a Squid Game for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty meta. I like it. Travis, thank you for joining. I will be talking about that. So happy for Rumiko Takahashi. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, James, what the hell? I'm not caught up,
That's
but
random.
thank you. Thank you. I'll check it out then. Why the Last Man? I
Yeah.
think if that show came out 5 or 10 years ago, the story would be different, and I
Yeah.
think the reception would be higher for
Yeah.
for the show. I like it, but I do recognize that it just completely fell flat when it came to publicity and social awareness. Everybody just kind of moved on from that show.
It's boring. I think the show is absolutely boring. I don't know what it is, and I can't specifically tell you what exactly it is that I find the show boring because Why the Last Man is a comic that I love,
Yeah.
but I can't sit down and watch an episode without almost falling asleep.
I think maybe the setting for that story, I think it doesn't translate as well. Uh, the story of Why the Last Man doesn't
Mm-hmm.
translate as well to TV compared to comic, maybe
I can see
because
that.
it's an apocalyptic show, but there's no threat in the traditional sense of like
Yeah.
you might watch a zombie show
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and there's a looming threat all around. This is more of a I don't know a philosophical debate. I don't know. It's a little bit more slower paced. I don't think it necessarily. What if it were a movie? Would it work best as a movie? I don't know.
I think maybe 2-3 movies. You could probably
Yeah,
get a small series out of that. And the
like
thing
a
is,
trilogy.
yeah, I had always said Why the Last Man would be really good for a TV series, but I can't put my finger on exactly what it is that for me they just have missed the mark on something. And I think the pilot is great. They nail the pilot, but the pilot is pretty much just the first issue. And then I think after that, they deviate a lot from the source material and they start focusing more on the situation happening in the White House and stuff like that, which is okay. It's interesting, but I think the crux of the story really is Yorick's tale. It is the story of Yorick and him going around the world through various circumstances that happen in the book, and he meets all these different characters, and they impart in him some type of wisdom, or he discovers something about himself, or there's a lot of social commentary. And from the 3 episodes that I saw, it just felt like it was dragging.
Yeah, I haven't watched this week, so I don't know. I like it, but it's
Hmm.
not something that I'm immediately excited to watch. It's like
Yeah,
on the bottom of my watch list each week. Like,
yeah.
oh, okay, I'll save that for last. Um, so yeah, moving aside from that, maybe we'll talk about it. I'm gonna finish it, and by the end of the hopefully season finale, we'll
Hmm.
talk more at length about that series.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about What If, everybody's favorite MCU property, which aired its season finale, episode 9, titled What If the Watcher Broke His Oath? And it's essentially a continuation of the previous episode. Let me put the spoiler banner on, just in case, because it is a season finale. If you haven't watched it, give me a couple minutes and come back to this stream. Or if you're watching
Hmm.
later, just skip a few, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. When you don't see the banner, you're good to go. Lou, you don't mind me spoiling this thing, right? For you?
Oh no, 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 not at all. I gave up on this show about 3 episodes ago.
Okay, so basically, the last episode, the Watcher flees from Ultron, Mega Ultron, Super OP Ultron, that apparently one stone can kill Thanos with 5 stones, but whatever. So now Uatu breaks his oath, and he has to assemble a team from the multiverse to defeat this uber-powered Ultron. So his solution in the final episode, the season finale, he recruits Strange Supreme, Captain Carter, T'Challa or Star Lord,
Hmm.
Party Thor, Killmonger, which really surprised me, and the Gamora version that we saw teased in the trailer and in the posters, where she's wearing Thanos' suit from Endgame.
Right.
They don't really give an explanation to her. You just know that she's a variant of Gamora from a universe where she killed Thanos. That's it. And she's got the blade thing that he uses in Endgame and
Uh-huh.
the armor from that. And I was a little disappointed because last stream I said, "Oh, these guys, they're gonna make the Defenders, the MCU equivalent of the Defenders." Not
Hmm.
really. Uatu calls them the Guardians of the Multiverse, which I thought was pretty boring. So he assembles the Guardians to battle Ultron, and it's actually really well animated. These last two episodes had really good animation,
Hmm.
and essentially the majority of the episode is one big fight with the Guardians of the Multiverse against Ultron, and they try to steal his one of his stones. I think it was a Soul Stone, and eventually they escape to Ultron's home universe, where previously he wiped out everybody in a nuclear holocaust. And
Hmm.
we find out that Black Widow is the only surviving human in that universe,
Of
in
course.
that world. Sorry, in that Earth. And the solution, at one point, they knock him out, and Killmonger takes Ultron's suit with the stones, and he says, "If we have the stones, we can undo everything that went wrong in our universes and fix whatever is wrong." And the rest of the Guardians don't agree, and the solution is to, thanks to Strange Supreme, they trap Ultron and Killmonger in like a mini pocket dimension. They're frozen in time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it. And Strange agrees to keep guard of the two of them in his own pocket depressing universe, and Uatu sends everybody off to their respective worlds right when he plucked them out. So they're just going to resume their lives. They're not. Nobody's going to know what happened. And the last one that he sends is Black Widow, which her homeworld's gone. That Earth is no longer functioning. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
there. So he decides to. You remember the episode where they killed off the Avengers, and it turned out to be Hank Pym.
Yep.
Black Widow was missing. I think it was that universe. Black Widow was missing from that world. So Watu drops her off in that one to help fight Loki,
Oh god.
because that universe only had Captain America and Captain Marvel and
Yeah.
Fury. So now they have a Black Widow, and that's it. They save the world. Pretty generic, pretty safe ending for a season, but it
Mm-hmm.
was really cool to see this ensemble of celebs voicing these characters, especially the
Mm-hmm.
late Chadwick Boseman. This was his final episode as Star Lord T'Challa, and he really did a good job. I was surprised by Killmonger. That was a surprise addition. I didn't think he was going to join that team.
Yeah.
And yeah, it all played as it should. There was nothing surprising about this. I thought Uatu, because he fought against Ultron in the previous episode, I thought he was going to join in on the fight. But nah,
Mm.
my boy stayed behind the scenes as usual. And it was more of a philosophical thing where he was just excited that he got the team together, and then at the end complimented
Mm.
everybody. And that's it. There's a post-credit scene which I don't really care for, essentially continuing Captain Carter's journey, and it plays off of the Winter Soldier storyline, where instead of Winter Soldier, she finds out at the end that the Hydra Stomper, or Steve Rogers' Iron Man type suit, is still out there, and he's still frozen there or something.
Mm.
So they're teasing that reunion, and it ends. I thought it was pretty safe. It was all right. Overall, I don't grade stuff anymore on YouTube, but if I had to grade something, I'd give it like 2.5 stars, or like a 5 out of 10 or something like that. It was just an okay, forgettable series, honestly.
Yeah. Have they greenlit a season 2 for this? Do you know?
Not officially, but well, somebody said on one of our streams that they did, but I don't remember. I think they have. They will renew it. I don't know. They probably will. It's Disney. They
So
can do it.
and also, so question, does it feel like with the whole Gamora situation, does it feel like maybe there was an episode that they maybe had planned and they had maybe written something out, but it never happened because of budgets or something like that? Does that feel like it's
Honestly,
missing?
honestly, I would have switched the Thor were an only child, where it's just him in a frat party in Vegas.
Yeah.
I would have switched that because you don't really need a whole episode to that, and just placed the Gamora story there because that seemed more interesting. When you see her, she's hanging out with Tony in this epic Hulkbuster armor, cosmic
Hmm.
armor,
Hmm.
and Watu just shows up and like, Gamora of this universe, you've been selected, and just spirit aways the character.
Okay.
We don't really know. We just know that she killed Thanos, and that's it. I would have wanted to see that. Oh,
I,
Phil says they have greenlit season 2.
I will not be watching that. I'm letting you know right now.
I want them to. They try doing the whole what if thing from the comics, where just it's a what if scenario, and that's it. And they tried to spin it and make like an Exiles type story,
Hmm.
which is fine. But I don't know. I kind of want them to go a little bit more what ify, more crazier. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, from the sounds of it, it sounds like it actually wasn't too bad of a finale. I mean, obviously, so they've said that this stuff is canon. They've said this is
Mhm.
canon. It just happens in different universes.
Yep.
Will we ever see these characters in the MCU proper again? Who knows?
Doubt it.
Yeah. So who
It's
knows
just
how?
it's a good way for these characters to exist in the
Yeah.
MCU without having to do a movie and spend a lot of money.
Right. Because I would imagine this is probably cheaper than them having to do a full movie. Um, I I have to wonder how much the excitement is for season 2 of this, because looking online, it doesn't seem like this really caught on, probably as much as they were hoping, or didn't catch
Yeah.
the fire that, because they've already greenlit season 2, and I kind of wonder if they had expectations of like, yo, this is going to be really big, we're just going to go ahead and greenlit a second season.
Yeah.
And by that point, it doesn't seem, it started out really good. The hype, I mean, started out really good.
Mhm.
People were on board with it. Everybody was like, "Yo, this is pretty fucking cool."
Yeah, I was
And what,
excited.
right, right. And what I've kind of noticed, just peeking online and stuff like that, is that the excitement has kind of,
Yeah.
it's kind of gone downhill.
Oh yeah.
Um, versus something like Vision, like WandaVision, where every week it was must watch TV. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was geeked out about it. Everybody was excited about it. To a certain extent, Falcon and Winter Soldier was that way. They didn't really hit the mark as much with Vision. I mean, with Falcon and the Winter Soldier as they did with Vision, but they
Yeah.
definitely recaptured that with Loki, because
Hmm.
everybody was geeked about Loki. Everybody was
Yep.
watching it every week and all that other stuff. So this seems like it was an interesting experiment, but I think they're gonna give this one more go for season 2, and if they don't capture that magic in season 2, this isn't getting a third
Yep.
season.
I think the one major thing about What If, where it failed, is that it's an animated series,
Mm,
and unfortunately, here in America, we've trained everybody to think animation's just for kids.
yeah.
And the fact that you're doing this show animated, immediately, I'm not talking about the geeks and the nerds that follow comics and Marvel characters. I'm talking about your everyday Joe that has a Disney Plus account. They're immediately turned off by this because they don't want to see an animated show, because they have that mindset that it's a cartoon. They don't
Right.
see the joy and wonderful nature of an animated series and how it can sometimes outperform live action stuff. They're just
Hmm.
trained, oh, it's an animated show, it's for kids. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to bother. I
Right.
think I think it failed because of that, but that's not their fault. It's
No.
just society as a whole when it comes to North America and their perception of animation.
Hmm.
Like you said, I think we're going to get a season 2, and I don't think it's going to do. It's just going to do as good as this one, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
my prediction for it.
Yeah. My litmus test is usually my fiance, who she's seen the Marvel films and stuff like that, like everybody else.
Yeah.
But she has really no interest in the animated stuff outside of like the Pixar films and some of the Disney animated stuff. She loves that stuff. So I tried watching 2 or 3 episodes of this with her, and she just had no interest in this at all. I'm like, well, yeah, this is kind of a story. It's this and this and this is what's going on. And she's like, oh, okay. So
And I forgot to share the poster. Sorry, guys.
that's a cool post.
Um,
Whereas
so she looked.
she loved Loki, by the way, and she really dug WandaVision. We watched that every week.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna. Well, I'm gonna keep the spoiler tag on just in case. Um, I think Gamora looks absolutely badass, and
hmm
she rocked it in the episode. She was really cool. I did not care for Party Thor. That's my main gripe. I wanted to see her story and how she killed Thanos and became like truly the most dangerous woman in the galaxy. But
mm.
we didn't get that. We just got a glorified cameo. I don't think Zoe voiced her. And also, the way that they took out Ultron was pretty interesting because they used the Arnim Zola from the previous episode
Mm.
because they had uploaded his consciousness into an Ultron bot, but that didn't work. So he was stuck in one of Hawkeye's arrows. So they shot Vision or Ultron Vision in his eye, and that uploaded his consciousness inside of Ultron to fight it out. That was pretty cool. I'd like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Watcher got his Power Rangers team together, and because he kind of looks like what's his face from Power Rangers,
Zordon.
Zordon. Yeah, he's like Zordon, and he got his team. And at the end, they just disbanded. Unfortunately, you were talking about potential live action stuff.
Hmm.
Killmonger's gone. I don't see him coming back
Hmm.
unless you can't play this card again because he's trapped in a pocket dimension.
Hmm.
Party Thor, you're not going to get him again because Chris Hemsworth, probably the best voice actor out of this whole series. really did a good job as Thor. I don't see him playing a different character again in live action form. He's just
Yeah.
going to keep doing his thing as regular Thor. Unfortunately, Star Lord, this version we're not going to see again. Rest in peace, Chadwick. Strange Supreme, it's the same case. You already have Benedict Cumberbatch doing regular Strange. I don't see him doing a live action version of that. It'll just confuse everybody. The only thing I could see in live action would be Captain Carter, honestly. And I think it could do somewhat well. But of course, you would have a lot of people complaining and fighting, like, why is Captain Carter? What happened to Captain America? Whatever.
Well, I think that would also open up a big can of worms because it would be, yes, she's British, but you just gave the shield to Anthony Mackie, a black Captain America,
Yeah.
and
Not
that
a
would
woman? What the hell?
you just gave it to a black guy, and now you're taking. I could see that. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I'm
No, I
saying
know
I
what you
could
mean.
see the
Yeah.
backlash happening. Like you just gave the shield to a black Captain America, and now you're basically taking the spotlight away because you're bringing in Captain Carter. So I don't think they're going to open that can of worms just yet. Maybe in a few years we'll get something like that. But yeah, like I said, I think they'll have the season 2, and chances are after that this will be it. I fucking hate this time travel stuff, to be honest with you. It really just I hate time travel and alternate dimensions a lot because it really just opens up more can of worms than anything else.
Yeah.
Such as you start breaking your own rules that you've established for the universe. Did they ever really explain why Ultron's stones actually worked in alternate universes?
I don't know.
When
Also, the multiverse is weird because um, it's easily explainable. I get it. But
Mm,
the whole idea in the Loki show is that um, the good version of Kang sealed the MCU timeline so it wouldn't come in conflict with the multiverse war that he was a part of or whatever. So it's
mhm,
one huge ring going in circles, right? And at
mhm.
the end of Loki, that breaks off, and essentially the timeline rejoins the multiverse.
Right.
So I don't know if you get what I'm getting, what I'm aiming towards. The What If show is supposed to be variations of the main MCU timeline, but if
Mhm.
it was sealed off, how can it have variations? I don't know. This is why you don't play around with the multiverse, kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
Blue Marvel, Ultron stones work because in Endgame they work.
Well, that's
Yeah,
time travel. That's not multiverse.
I'll
That's
go.
it. Yeah, I get it. It's nitpicking. I get it.
Let's just go with that. But it
Yeah,
was
let's just go with that.
dumb and super lazy that Ultron could beat Thanos. Now I'm not saying the actual fight, but like Thanos arrived with 5 Infinity Stones, guys, and you're telling me that Ultron used a stupid Soul Stone or whatever, Mind Stone, and you just fired a laser and killed off Thanos. Okay,
Hey,
that's
don't open that. Don't open that because there were people last week very vehemently defending that, and I saw the clip that it happened, and I was like, wow, this is really fucking lazy writing.
Oh, this was actually really cool. I forgot to mention that. Thank you, Raphael. Evil Doctor Strange is so overpowered. He went toe to toe with Ultron and all the Infinity Stones.
Cool.
That scene where because he put like protection spells on everybody, like magic armor,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's being knocked around, and then uh, Strange Supreme, he
Mm-hmm.
morphs his body into all the demons that he had absorbed and
Huh.
just went toe to toe with Ultron. That scene was actually pretty badass. I loved it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, the episode's worth checking out. Just watch the final 2 episodes. You don't need to watch anything else from What If.
okay, I'll do that. I'll watch the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
The actual fight and all that stuff, it was well animated. I hate, and I don't say this often, I don't like to hate on things. Hate's a strong word.
Yeah.
I really do not like the animation at all for any of the episodes. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
like them. But
Mm-hmm.
the actual animation and the fluidity and all that stuff really finally got its groove on in the final 2 episodes. It was really well choreographed, the fight and all that stuff. I just didn't like the art style.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Awesome's right; they also needed the shock value. I get that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it would have been better if Ultron had the 5 stones and he was missing one, and then that universe's Thanos walks in, and he just shoots him up and kills him. That I would get. I'm like, yeah, all right, he's a badass, but not the other way around. Come on, let's go. Yes, I
Yeah.
will. If you like that scene, good for you. But I hated it.
Yeah. So now that this is all said and done,
Let
the
me
whole
take the
series is
camera off.
done.
Yeah.
The whole series is said and done. I know you don't do ratings or anything like that. What would if you had gun to your head, you had to give the whole series a rating? What would you give it? And we've talked about this before. What episodes do you think you should at least watch if you're going to watch the final two?
Are you gonna do like out of 10?
5.
Are you
Keep
gonna
it simple.
do letter grading, or are you gonna do stars?
You know what? No, let's do the letter grading because people get too hung up on numerals.
Okay, me too. I just say in my channel, I just go, it's good, it's bad. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Animation, art style, I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Voice acting was inconsistent.
Yep.
Episodes were kind of boring and sometimes just meh all around. But it had a solid idea of exploring the multiverse in a unique way. And I enjoyed the fact that almost all the celebs came back to voice their respective characters.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. Some didn't come back because it was too expensive, I guess, for the team to hire them.
Mm-hmm.
You said lettering. I'm gonna give it a C minus,
Okay. Not a failing grade. All right.
or maybe a D plus. I don't know. Either a D. Let me think about it for a second here. Hold on,
All right.
because then people are gonna think, oh, you hated on it and you gave it a passing grade. I'll do that. A D plus, like Disney Plus.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I don't know. Somewhere between C plus or D plus. I don't know. Whatever. Whole season says Raphael C plus. Story all was average and animation was subpar in my opinion. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right, Raphael. I'll join you with that C plus. That was my initial grading for it.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
And if I had to recommend any episodes out of the 9, you only need to watch
Doctor Strange, I would assume.
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. Episode 8 and 9. Just watch those 3.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, Strange was the key to them winning because he provided all the magic and armor and support for the other characters to beat Ultron and save the multiverse. Yeah, because at the episode 9, you get it. You understand that, oh, this is Captain Carter. She's instead of Steve Rogers, we got her. You don't need too much of an explanation. Star-Lord, I mean, he's a fun character, but he's not the deepest character in the world. And you get it right away because Uatu introduces everybody like, you are T'Challa, Star-Lord, Wakandan fighter or whatever, and you get it. So yeah, watch episode 4, episode 8, and episode 9. The rest, whatever. It's all right.
All right, man. All right, well, that's it. That's putting a cap on What If for a year, right? It's done.
Yay. Hopefully not.
We can
Maybe
all
2
move
years.
on. We can all move on with our lives. What's
We can
next?
all-
Hawkeye? Is Hawkeye next? Is that the big one?
Let me check. I think so. Hawkeye, Marvel Universe, Hawkeye, which comes out this November 24th. 6 episodes.
All right, right around the corner.
Yeah, we never talked about it, but it looks cool. I like the trailer. It's very cheerful. I like that it's a Christmas show, basically.
That's cool. Okay, I'm down for that. That sounds pretty cool.
Haley looks awesome as Kate, and my boy Lucky, the pizza dog, is there. That's all.
Is he really?
Yeah, he
That's
shows
awesome.
up in one frame, and he's missing his eye, and he's got some Christmas decorations or something going on, but he's in there. Pizza dog. And Jeremy Renner, I think this is probably his last outing as Hawkeye, which would be a fitting send-off, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And if you saw the Black Widow movie, Florence Pugh is going to be in it, so that's exciting.
Has it? So, hmm. Has it kind of felt like maybe Marvel is kind of spinning its wheels this phase? I understand they're probably setting things up for later on, but to a certain extent, does it kind of seem like they're taking a little bit too long to set up all this stuff?
I think they're taking too long for new fans to catch on to what's happening
Okay.
with the multiverse because it's not everybody's going to watch TV shows. Some people just want to watch the movies,
Yeah.
so they might not know what's happened on WandaVision or Loki and stuff like that. So I
Hmm.
think the plot is a little bit all over the place,
Okay.
like the central plot, because we still don't have the big bad guy. Yes, Kang's there, but the Fantastic Four are coming. So what about Galactus?
Right.
Or the X-Men eventually will come out in Phase 500. I don't know when that's coming out.
Right.
Um, and I know it's not part of Phase 4. I get it. Don't get upset. But what I'm getting at is that there's no concrete villain yet where everybody can be on board. Like with the previous phases, you knew Thanos was coming.
Yeah.
This, if you don't watch TV, you have no idea that Kang's going to be the major bad guy. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I think they're taking a risk by having all the shows and movies and all that stuff at the same
There.
time.
They are because a lot of this stuff is going to tie back in, and you have certain fans that they just want to see the movies. They're not really invested in the TV shows and stuff like that. So when Vision shows up again and he's white, some fans are going to be like, "What the hell happened?" I kind of feel like I missed something.
Oh yeah. And Wanda, she's finally the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
People are
finally.
like, "Whoa, she's got a new costume."
Yeah,
Gotta watch
yeah.
WandaVision.
I mean, I would imagine they probably, in writing the scripts for the new films, they're probably going to have to crowbar in something explaining why Wanda is now this all powerful thing, why Vision is white, and stuff like that. It'll probably be just some offhanded comment or something.
Mm-hmm. So, plus next year, which this is a good point. I'm excited for Moon Knight. After Hawkeye, we're getting Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Secret Invasion.
Okay.
That's a lot.
It's a solid list.
Yeah. Um, Hawkeye does look promising. Echo will be
Huh.
in it. That's cool. I like the idea of introducing Echo. That's a different character for
Miss
people to
Marvel
enjoy.
Miss Marvel has to be an Inhuman, right? Like they're not going to backdoor it and go, well, we're not going to really mention Inhumans. Like she has to be. It has to be an Inhuman.
Fingers crossed. All we know is that she's a 16-year-old Muslim Pakistani American from Jersey who
Yeah.
writes fan fiction about Captain Marvel. And that's all we know.
I wonder how they're going to explain her powers because she gets it from the Terrigen Mist bomb that happens. I think that was in Infinity War.
In
Um,
Infinity,
Infinity, right,
part of Hickman's run.
right. So I'm kind of wondering how they'll establish her power set, how she got it, because it's so tied into what's going on with the humans and all the drama there that maybe they'll just go, yeah, she got it from like a stone, or she was born that way, or something dumb like that.
Or the blip and snap revealed her genetic abilities.
Oh God,
That's such a boring way to do it.
yeah,
Uh, I think they should explain that like a classic superhero comics where something random happened and now I have superpowers. And then by the end, you tease about the Terrigen Mist.
right,
I don't
right,
know.
right,
Keep it a mystery because then
right.
she's going to show up in the Marvels movie.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, our boy Lockjaw appears. That'd be great.
Oh my God.
Oh, come on, Phil. Don't do that to me. She won't have her stretchy powers, I read.
You
We'll
know
see.
what? I can kind of see them avoiding it simply because we've got the Fantastic Four on the way, and I could
Like
see
the
them.
budget. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see them going. Yeah, well, we've got Reed Richards. He's kind of got a similar power set. Do we really want to introduce her, and she's got the similar power set as Reed Richards?
Now that I'm reading on a wiki article here, it says that she gains shape shifting powers and not body manipulation or however
Oh,
you call it. I
oh,
don't know. That's gonna be weird. Um,
She's Beast Boy.
G. Scott, in Eternals, they hint that the deviants arise from slumber because of the energy from the Infinity Stones that was felt around the universe. Perhaps their powers will be
Yeah.
explained that way. That could also be it. I don't know.
Well, hey, apparently the word is inside of Marvel, because I listen to a lot of this crap and stuff like that, a lot of podcasts and stuff, that Eternals is their best film. That Marvel Studios genuinely feels like out of everything that they've done, Eternals is their absolutely 100% best film. There's talks about them pushing for an Oscar campaign run towards next year and stuff like that with this movie. They
Dude.
they think they have a serious hit on their hands. The director, what was her? Can't remember her
She
name.
was, shoot, I'll look it up.
She
She
just
won
won.
the
She won
Oscar,
best
right?
film.
Yeah.
For that movie that was boring as hell.
The
It was terrible.
traveling, what's her name? I know what you mean. Eternals is directed by Chloe Zhao. I
Yeah,
hope I said that right.
yeah. If you ever want to fall asleep, kids, go ahead and put that in on your DVD. It's pretty
She
fun.
did Nomadland. That's the movie we're talking about.
Yeah,
I hope she can knock it out of the park.
I do too.
It looks fun.
I do too. I mean, it's probably the least interesting out of all the MCU films this year. For me, it looks the least interesting.
Yeah.
But I hope it's good.
You were mentioning something about. Yeah. Okay, the Eternals, whatever.
Yeah.
Polished one. Thank you, because I totally forgot to include this in the title description or the content for this episode. Venom 2. Apparently, that's a thing where everybody's liking it because
Mhm.
it did a crazy amount of money. Let me pull that up.
Mm-hmm.
Venom 2 has made Let There Be Carnage. It's a dumb sounding title. The budget for that was $110 million, and so far it's made $115 million in the box office. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of the most grossing movies in 2021. Let me check.
I think you're right on that.
You haven't seen it, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
But you know what happens in the movie.
Yes, I know the post-credit scene and everything like that. I got it.
Which is what I did. I just read the description because I'm not a fan. I'm not interested whatsoever. When the plot description was available, I just read it. It's a 90-minute movie, which is weird for a superhero comic film.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the highest grossing films. Oh, interesting. Anyways, I don't know if you guys want me to spoil the thing, but a lot of people do want to check it out. More power to them. If you like the movie, that's awesome. I like stuff that a lot of people hate, so I get it.
I have heard that a lot of people were like, they were surprised that they got away with the PG-13 rating on it. It actually is pretty violent, and it's only an hour and a half, so it moves. That's what I've heard is good about it.
Yeah, I think they should have aimed for the R rating, but PG-13 sells a lot of tickets compared to R-rated stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not going to fault Sony for doing that because at the end of the day, making a movie it's business. You make money out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Phil says Venom 2 was 100% garbage. Yay. G. Scott liked it. That's awesome. It was amazing and a fun movie. Go see Venom 2. There you go.
Yeah.
Two opposite views of the same movie. I love that. Honestly, guys, the only thing that I found interesting was the post-credit scene because I knew it was going to happen. I didn't think they were going to be so blunt about it.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of the whole Vision versus Thanos thing that I just talked about, where it was just kind of lazy writing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to spoil it, but the only thing I'm going to say is that there's a flash of light. And that to me is one of those laziest tropes of transportation in movies. Yeah. A flash of light and the character boom, disappears and appears somewhere else. Who made that happen? I don't know, but there's a flash of light and now the character is somewhere else. All right, God bless.
But do you want to talk spoilers for because
All
it was
right, guys.
inevitable. It was
All right.
inevitable.
Spoilers. If you don't want to hear about it, you can leave and come back later.
Yeah.
I just look for the spoiler tag. When that's gone, you know that we're stopped. We stopped talking about it. So spoilers for Venom to Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
Again, spoilers. Don't be pissed off because I spoiled things. This is your last minute to get out. We're gonna spoil it. All right, let's continue. Go ahead.
So right, he's back in some hotel or something like that. The post credit scene is basically this: they're watching TV, they flip the channel, they hear J. Jonah Jameson, and he starts talking about Spider-Man. And Venom goes to the he that guy basically is what Venom says, and they assume that Venom killed Mysterio, and that's kind of going to be the driving force of when Venom and Spider-Man meet. Which to me, I am starting to fully believe this. I think the next Spider-Man movie is going to be the last one where you have Spider-Man in the MCU, and after that, Sony's going to take their ball and go home. Because
I think, yeah,
you
go ahead.
have to remember, Spider-Man is on loan. He is a character that is still owned by Sony.
Mhm.
Sony and Marvel are still playing okay with this, but we almost didn't get the character back a few years ago because negotiations fell through and stuff like that. And I don't know exactly what the contract is or how exactly it's going to work for the next few movies, but I could totally see them backdooring a way where, okay, Peter gets trapped in the universe where Venom is or whatever it is, and that's where he's going to be. He's going to be in the Sony films, and that's it.
I think from what I remember, Holland still has this movie, the third Spider-Man movie,
Mm-hmm.
and a Disney event movie, and something else, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I think what Sony's going to do is that from now on, when they decide to pull the plug, the character might still be in the MCU, but he's not going to interact with everybody. And it's just going to be his own thing separately. Because they do know that there is a lot of money to be made by sharing the universe. And
Mhm.
being part of the MCU brand can give them a lot more money and a lot more people are going to watch it. There's the potential of cameos and other Avenger type characters appearing.
Mhm.
I don't think they want to lose that. At the end of the Venom 2 stuff, Venom now has sonic abilities, which is okay, considering the symbiote doesn't like the sonic sound thing, but whatever, it's a different world. They take a tropical vacation,
Mhm.
and in a room or whatever, Venom tells Eddie that the symbiotes have knowledge of the multiverse.
Mhm.
I don't know how they came across this knowledge. Maybe
Mhm.
what's the event that just happened with Venom, the King in Black stuff?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What was the bad guy's name? I forgot.
No. No.
Null. Maybe Null's involved in all of this, and they're
Yeah.
teasing that potentially. Who knows? Then a blinding light transports them from their hotel room
Mhm.
to another hotel room
Mhm.
in New York City, I
Mhm.
guess, where they're, like you said, they're watching the J. Jonas Jameson thing.
Yeah.
And then Venom just licks the screen and he gets all horny for Tom Holland Spider Man. And it says, like you said, like, here, that's the one or whatever. I don't know why, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen. Like I said, it's inevitable.
Mhm.
Everybody wants it to happen. Sony wants it to happen. Fans want to see Venom fighting Spider Man
Mhm.
properly and not from Spider Man 3 from back in the day. I just think it was kind of like super lazy the way they did it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we need to get him now. How do we do it? Well, a flash of blinding light. Let's go. And he's just now in the MCU. That's it. So now we have Venom in the MCU. That's it. We're,
I
we're good to go.
so after this, I firmly believe that Venom is going to be in the next Spider-Man movie because why not? Everything is in that movie apparently at this point. But
Yeah.
I can see it. I can genuinely see them Portal or whatever, however the next movie is going to work. I can see I can see Venom being in it. There is so much fucking shit going on with this Spider-Man movie, and we still don't know almost nothing about it. We have no clue what exactly the plot of this film is. We just know
Yeah.
he's trapped in another dimension. That's all we know. And out of all the stuff that the MCU put out this year, this is the one I'm genuinely the most curious, because I
Yeah.
think this is going to go one of two ways. I really do think it's going to go one of two ways. Either this is going to be fucking amazing, or this is going to be a train wreck. I don't think there's going to
Oh,
be. I no. I really don't think
yeah.
there's going to be an in between on this one, because there's so much hype built around it, and we talked about this before. There's so much anticipation built around it, and there's, if everything that they've said and all the rumors are true, this is going to be one hell of a movie. And if it isn't, it's going to be a really big disappointment for a lot of people.
I can see a lot of people getting mad at that
Yeah.
when if it doesn't meet their expectations. I'm
Yeah.
fine either way. It's Spider-Man. He's my favorite Marvel superhero,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read off some comments here. Raphael says, "If you like the first Venom, then you'll like number two. If you hate the first one, then you're gonna hate number two." I think that's the best thing about the movie. That yeah, if you like the first one, you're gonna like the second one.
Hmm.
It does have more of that same ferocity of like it's very visceral looking, quick paced. G Scott says in the Screen Crush video, I don't know who that is, so I apologize. They point out in the dialogue that Venom is part of a hive mind and has knowledge from different universes. So perhaps Venom knows about Spider-Man via Spider-Man 3. Maybe.
Mm.
It's just they're just my complaint is that they're throwing that stinger out of nowhere simply to meet the demand of Sony wanting to make the Sinister Six and Spider-Man and Venom and all that stuff happen. I think it was a little bit rushed. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. And it all works out.
Yeah. No. So I also think the next Spider-Man movie is probably a secret Sinister Six film. That they just haven't necessarily broadcast it that way.
I hope so.
They
That's
ha-
what I'm
they have all the elements for it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I think that flash of light we saw is Doctor Strange working his magic from No Way Home, and Venom is now in the MCU. That'd be fun. What's interesting, I didn't know about this, is that Shriek literally said in the movie that she's a mutant. So
Wow.
there you go. Now we have the first mutant in a an somewhat MCU property. The flashlight might be from the Loki season finale. That could be it too.
Yeah.
Spider-Man versus Venom will be a non-MCU pure Sony movie. I think you're correct. No Way Home is the last Spider-Man movie in the MCU. I agree with the two of you. I just don't see Sony pulling away entirely and just vaguely doing like the Netflix and ABC shows where they vaguely reference stuff from the MCU and they
Yeah.
just go play to the side. Like, all right, you guys do that thing. We're going to go here and play in our sandbox. I don't know. I think
Here's. Sorry. Go ahead, man. I
no,
apologize.
because it's Tom Holland. People already associate him with the MCU, and to not have him there,
Mm.
you're going to confuse a lot of people. So I don't know.
Is there? So here I have two questions for you. Is there a possibility we get a glimpse, maybe a glimpse, because they're keeping a lot of stuff secret about this movie, of Miles in this film? Because they're bringing a lot of multiversal elements. Miles is an established character. He's got the video game. He's got the movie. Maybe you
Movie?
don't even necessarily have to introduce him. Maybe you just see a black suit swinging around somewhere. I don't know, something like that. And do you think it's possible Charlie Cox is actually in this as Daredevil, or Matt Murdock?
I don't know about Matt Murdock. Maybe
Okay.
it's a throwaway cameo
Okay.
because D'Onofrio wants to come back as Kingpin.
Right.
Um, Maybe Miles is an Easter egg from a
Mhm.
multiverse montage of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you just see him temporarily.
Mhm.
I do know that if the Marvel movies want to continue their success, two universes have to expand, and one of them is Spider-Man and eventually the X-Men.
Yeah.
Because I think the Avengers stuff, they could still keep going, but I think it's time to move on from that. And they sort of played everything out that they could.
Mhm.
And the Spider-Man universe has so much potential. Daredevil, Kingpin, Sinister Six, all these elements that could play out in like a freaking soap opera on screen, and then you have X-Men with their freaking drama. I don't know. It could potentially be amazing, or it could fail, and everybody would hate it.
Well, they're shelving the X-Men for now. We know that.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
no,
I don't I don't
that's
think we're
probably
getting
going to
it.
be Phase 6 or something.
I don't think we're getting the X-Men for at least another 5 or 6 years. They are shelving them because they probably want to get away from as far away from the Fox stuff right now.
Yeah, slowly introduce them hint by hint. Um, but what is that's a very strange question, G Scott. What is you love hate manga hentai? What will you like love hate Venom? Let there be carnage. I don't know how to go about that, but I do like Venom
Hmm.
as a character. Remember, the Prowler is in Spider-Man, and he mentions his nephew.
It's true.
Yep, Fantastic Four too. That's the movie I'm most excited about, to be honest. Out of everything, Spider-Man already works. He's already in the running, so it's
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
But I'm so excited for Fantastic Four. I mean, that's the underrated property, in my
Yeah.
opinion, out of everything.
I still say that should be a period piece. And you could even tease it in Quantum Mania, where Scott ends up finding something lost in the quantum realm or something like that. I think the Fantastic Four in the 1960s would work.
James says there's a rumor D'Onofrio Kingpin will have a cameo in Hawkeye. I can see that. That'd be fun.
Hmm.
I do think if you want a street mega villain, I think either Osborn or Kingpin should be established.
Yeah.
Um, so let me. No, I'm gonna keep the spoiler tag on, or should I take it off?
For what?
I don't know. All right, we're out of the spoiler-free zone on this MCU talk episode because I had other plans, but we basically covered all MCU talk.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to change the thumbnail for this episode.
Sorry, man.
I don't know. It's all right. I love it. I love this chaos. The other thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is quickly mention that we have our new inductees to the Harvey Awards Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
They included for the 2021 class of Harvey Award inductees 5 artists: Rumiko Takahashi, Bernie Wrightson, Jeffrey Catherine Jones, Barry Windsor Smith, and Michael Kaluta, or Kaluta, or whatever. Takahashi released a statement thanking the committee for her induction, saying, "Thank you so much for this wonderful award. I am so honored the American readers have enjoyed my work. Through the medium of manga, I am so happy I am able to communicate with all of you. The world is in hardship due to COVID, but I hope my manga can provide some comfort." So that's really awesome and badass. Takahashi is on a league of her own. She's amazing. You know, Urusei Yatsuda, Inuyasha, um, Mermaid Saga. What's the other thing? Maison Ikoku. It's hit after hit with her, and it's so awesome to see her recognized that way outside of Japan. And then the class is pretty solid. You got the late Bernie Wrightson. His work is fantastic on Swamp Thing and other titles.
Mm-hmm.
And Barry Windsor Smith, Weapon X, Conan, all that fun stuff. So, what do you think of the class of 2021 for the Harvey Awards?
I am honestly surprised it took them this long to get Bernie Wrightson in there.
Yeah, I mean, how long have the Harvey Awards been around? Since the 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Let me check. The Harvey Awards were established in oh damn, founded by Gary Groth in 1988.
Damn,
That's a long time.
it's older than me.
But it's cool. I love when you can have mangaka next to comic creators. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a celebration of that stuff. No, I think it's cool, man. I think, like you mentioned, it's above and beyond time that some of those names got recognized for all the work that they did, and it's I would imagine it's a pretty big honor for some of these people. Admittingly, I'm not too familiar with too many people on this list, but I think that's pretty awesome.
But last year, I have the article here, which is surprising. I didn't know this. Last year, they added Osamu Tezuka to the list of the Hall of
Really?
Fame. I'm like, what? Really? 2020? After all the work that he's done, and he's such a pioneer in the field of manga? Okay. Took you long enough.
Wow. Tezuka's been dead for how long?
Tezuka died in the 60s, in the 70s?
Something like that. Wow, it took him this long to recognize him.
Tezuka passed away in 1989. Sorry.
Oh, okay, not that long.
He was 60.
Really young.
Yeah. Sadly, died too young. And we never got to get the ending for Phoenix, which is some of his best work.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
All right, man. What else you got on the docket?
I got a lot of people were mentioning it, or maybe one or two on the chat about the Marvel Comics being delayed. I'm just going to share the article from Screen Rant because I think some people might not know. There we go. Screen Rant is reporting that The Flash is secretly a fan. No, not this. Marvel Comics shipment lost by Penguin Random House. This week marked the beginning of the transition with PRH. And according to someone's site that I'm not going to mention because whatever, you can probably figure it out. They reported that retailers who purchase Marvel titles from wholesaler DCVS, which buys from PRH, have reported issues. According to the article, DCBS sent out an email to retailers informing them that a shipment from PRH was lost and that it was unable to process orders. The company apologized for the delay. And yeah, comic books are delayed. Collected editions are delayed. So hang tight because we're going to see more of this.
I have never been more happy to not be in that Facebook group anymore, because the amount of people complaining in there over this are going to be insane when they don't get their books this week.
I think the idea to announce this and make a fuss over it was not the best decision.
No.
Because, we knew something like this could happen, but now probably you have people on Twitter and making YouTube videos like, this sucks because look what's happening and all that stuff, instead of just calm down. Stuff like this happens. Accidents happen. You just got to wait it out. I do know some, and we've seen that on our Monday shows where I'm going to say the past month, all the week releases have been pretty tame and not filled with heavy hitters because they're making that transition with PRH, and we're going to see them in November. So if you are collecting collected editions, your wallet is going to hurt in November. So yeah, good luck with that, guys. So that is happening. Lost shipments. Some retailers who did receive comics reported that they were damaged and not shipped properly. That's also going to happen because Penguin Random House is new to this whole thing. I mean, they deal with books, but not with collected editions like Omnibus and trade paperbacks like the ones that we collect. So I'm not surprised, but I thought it was worth mentioning because we do talk about comics in this channel. And I put it in the thumbnail by mistake, but I'm going to mention it anyways. I put in the thumbnail about the Archie Omnibus Kickstarter, and a couple weeks ago, we were talking about it on a Monday, and I told Jess, "Hey, let's keep tabs of it, because I didn't know anything about it. I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to Archie and the character, so I had no idea. I do apologize. If you're a big Archie fan, you're probably angry that I don't know who Kevin Keller is. I had no idea." But he's getting an omnibus, which I thought was really strange. Let me share the Kickstarter here. I told Jess, man, we got to keep tabs of this and report back if it makes the goal. And it did with just 6 days to go.
Hey,
It's at $56,579 out of the $49,500 goal mark.
good
So
lord.
this is an omnibus of every Kevin Keller story created since an arrival in Riverdale a decade ago. I don't follow Archie whatsoever. I know the characters are, but I'm not a huge fan of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was perplexed. I'm like, who the heck is Kevin? Uh, I told Jess that it was weird to me that Kevin, regardless of whether or not he's a good character, a bad character, good stories, whatever, that's not my point.
Hmm.
I would have maybe put out omnibus editions for the original stuff and collect that for the first time in an omnibus.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting something newer from 10 years ago up until now in one Omni. So I was really surprised to see people backing the project. That's awesome, good for them. But I was really shocked. Maybe it's because I'm old. I didn't see this coming whatsoever.
So I don't know really anything about Archie, to be honest with you. I've never really, other than Afterlife with Archie, I've never really read anything involving Archie.
I watched a little bit of the Riverdale show. I didn't dig it that much like some people, but like,
Yeah. I heard that shit gets weird.
oh, it's fascinating how bizarre that show is. It goes into like it freaking crosses over with Sabrina, and Sabrina was at Netflix, and they somehow made that work.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, and they kind of touched on the zombie thing, sort
Wow.
of like I think like a what if type scenario or something like that. But they did talk about it or do something related to that, maybe for a Halloween episode.
That's pretty cool.
Did you ever watch the Sabrina show on Netflix?
No, 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 no. I
That was,
actually heard it wasn't that bad.
that was really good, especially for you that you're a horror buff.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll like it. And
Okay.
it was fun because a lot of people just remember Sabrina from the cartoon and the
Yeah.
Melissa Joan Hart series.
Yeah.
And when you watch the Netflix show, which I think already ended, it was dropped after 4 or 5 seasons. It's pretty dark and
Hmm.
creepy and kind of satanic at the same time. I'm like, damn, all right, I'm in. So it
You
was fun.
you had me at dark, creepy, and satanic. All right.
Watch it, watch it. Let me know if you like it. The only thing I hated about it was that my boy Salem is just a familiar, like a familiar, right? That's the
Oh,
word. And he doesn't talk like the
yeah.
TV, like the TV show. Sorry.
All right.
So
Cool.
I missed that.
I will put that on the back catalog, man. Yeah. I I mean, clearly Archie has a huge fan base still. I don't know who Kevin Keller is. Does Archie even do they still put out new Archie strips, or is that
I think so.
traditional Archie? I'm not talking about the afterlife stuff, but like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they do. I don't know.
oh, okay.
Maybe somebody in the chat can let us know. Oh, I do know this. The character is gay, so that's awesome. More
Cool.
representation. That's always awesome, and I
Cool.
always welcome that. I just had no idea. I had no idea the character existed whatsoever. James, thank you for the update. I did not know this. Sabrina Netflix series is coming back as a comic book called The Occult World of Sabrina.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty like PG-13, edging into the R-rated world when it comes to horror with the spooky stuff.
All right. I'll check that out. That
So
sounds pretty
yeah,
cool.
I think you will like it. The digest at least have one new story per issue, I believe. Cool. All right, good for Kevin, man. 10 years. God bless. There you go. Kevin's getting an omnibus before the Inhumans. I'm not. I'm not judging. Okay. Um, yeah. The Archie multiverse. I wish they would put out more. The story that you mentioned,
After
Afterlife.
afterlife, yeah.
I think they were working to bring that back, but nothing's happened. Because I have the first trade paperback, and that was like 5 or 6 issues, and they had like 3 extra ones, so they're
Mhm.
not collected anywhere. So they were probably doing like 2 or 3 more to do a volume 2, but we never got it.
Yeah. Damn shame.
Oh, look at that! I got introduced to Kevin Keller through the Riverdale series. Cool. There you go. I learned something new today. Thank you, Night of Fun on TikTok. Did I have anything else on our list? Give me a second here. I don't think so. So that's about it, gang. That's the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I got like 2 more minutes if you want to ask us any sort of questions about Kevin Keller, about collected editions, Mizan Koku, whatever you guys want to talk. We want to talk about Danny Glover. Let's do that. I'm just going over all the comments that I missed.
How excited are you for Dread this week?
Metroid Dread. It sucks that I'm not gonna play it because I have to wait for my order to ship in. But I am excited. And some people saying this is probably one of, if not the best Metroid game. I'm like, let's go, baby. I'm all in for that.
Man, that's a high bar.
Yeah, I'm excited. The Queen's back. But I did order Super Monkey Ball, so I'm excited for that too. I was gonna cancel it because I'm like I have way too many games, but at the same time, I need it. I need the monkeys.
Dude, you need to play. You need to play Kenna. I just finished it a few minutes ago before we started the stream.
You did?
Yeah, I finished it before we started the stream.
Ooh, how was it?
It's great. It's my front runner for Game of the Year right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm waiting for the physical edition.
It is the best Nintendo 64 game that never came out on the Nintendo 64.
I completely understand what you mean by that. Yeah. Travis, Gio, what's your favorite Takahashi work? Inuyasha, hands down. I love that series. I love it. I never read the full manga, just random chapters, and I watched the whole anime. But that's my favorite work of her. After that would be. It started Maison and Koku, but I haven't read the whole thing, so I can't talk about that. A Mermaid Saga I really enjoyed, but Inuyasha is my favorite. I know a lot of people like Ranma. It's all right. I like Inuyasha better. Back for Blood comes out next week on Game Pass. I don't know what that is, but sounds cool. Sounds edgy. I love it. Spoonful of Brody. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining. You guys gonna play Hot Wheels Unleashed? It's surprisingly a great game. Dude, I am really excited about that game. I really want to play that game. It looks amazing. And I've never played a Hot Wheels game in my life, but it looks solid. And it has great reviews. I think that's going to be one of the underrated games of 2021. Everybody's talking about Kena, Metroid. What else came out this year?
Resident Evil came out earlier this year.
Resident Evil. Whatever. People are all excited about that stuff. Mario Party. They're skipping out on Hot Wheels. Calling it. It looks really good. I'm a huge fan of arcade racers, and it does, from what I've seen, it does capture that joy of arcade racing.
I have to check it out.
Yeah. Cruisin' Blast also came out, and I'm dying to play that game. It just sucks that it doesn't have online play. If it had online play, I'd already be ordering that and playing it. That's the only thing that's holding me back on Cruisin' Blast.
Yeah, this back half, because usually we get a lot of games coming in the next few months. This back half is pretty much just empty for me. After Dread, there's really not much else that I'm planning on picking up for the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything got pushed back to next year.
What else is coming out this year?
Well, we've got the Super Monkey Ball. We've got the
Shin Megami Tensei. I forgot.
Is that this year?
November. Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
November 2021. Video games. Let me check that out real quick before we leave. Back for Blood, as mentioned here by Cleveland Brown, is the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
I see. So we got Far Cry 6, Back for Blood. Riders Republic looks cool. I want to play that. Halo Infinite. The Pokemon games, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Probably going to get Shining Pearl. Shin Megami Tensei 5. I've only played Persona games. I've never played a Tensei, but I'll give it a go. I want to check it out.
Same.
Solar Ash. I don't know about that. Hot Wheels Unleashed, but that already came out. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's always the Call of Duties and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I don't really have interest in any of that stuff.
Oh, and it's not going to win any awards, but Danganronpa is coming out, so I do have that
Yeah.
pre-ordered for
Yeah,
Switch.
so it's pretty. It's the next few months are kind of dead for me, which is great because I'll be able to work on my backlog a little bit.
Yeah. Spoonful of Brody. I believe you, brother. It's probably the best racing game I've played on the PS4 generation. I'm down for that. I want to play that. I was going to buy Far Cry 6, but I already played it playing Far Cry 3 to 5. It does look more of the same, honestly.
You know what? I want to get it simply because I love Giancarlo Esposito. He's a
Yeah.
great villain, and he's in it. So that
Mhm.
anything that guy does, I think he's awesome.
I think give it 2 months after release, and you're going to find. Oh, well, you do digital. I was going to say for physical collectors, uh, if you want a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, or Xbox game, give it 2 or 3 months,
Yeah.
and the $60 or $70 value is going to drop down to 40 to 50,
Yep.
and you can buy it then.
Happens.
Unless you're really psyched and you don't want any spoilers, then get it right away. But unfortunately, the Switch stuff does not lower in price. It holds its value.
Mm-mm.
However, some titles do lower in price. I think I saw Skyward Sword down to like $40. I haven't gotten that remake yet, but I do plan on getting it. So with stuff like Far Cry, just wait it out. Don't get it now.
I am still waiting for a Wind Waker remake to the Switch. I know they did the Wii U version, but why has that not been ported over to the Switch? It just seems like it's a given. And
It's so
I
easy. You already have
it
the assets on HD.
yeah. And Skyward Sword, I've never played it, but I've heard mixed things about Skyward Sword.
It's not the best of the Zelda stuff, but it's pretty unique, and it
Okay.
provided the groundworks for Breath of the Wild. The assets and the stamina systems and the
Mhm.
combat and all that gimmicky stuff. Um, Plot wise, I do think it's interesting, but it's all right. I have the Wii version. That's why I'm not. I didn't get the Switch remake when it came out.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we get out of here, Switch OLED, yes. Are you gonna pick one up? I'm not. I just don't see the.
No, I
I'm
do. Lately, I've been playing a lot of handheld, but I don't care.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to look amazing handheld, and you're going to love
Mhm.
it, and it's so awesome and all that stuff. But end of the day, it's the same exact Switch,
It is.
and a lot of people are falling into the FOMO hype of I need it, and then you have gaming YouTubers trying to hype it up like this is the
Mhm.
best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, not really. It's the same bread, just different packaging on top. Like the battery is still the same, the
Yep.
internals, the all that stuff inside, it's going to run exactly the same thing. It's the same thing, just on a larger screen.
Yeah.
OLED.
Yeah.
And that's it. And even then, the bezel, the only difference is a couple inches. It's not like a dramatic, like the original. Let's say it's off the top of my head. Let's say it's 5 inches. Now it's
Mhm.
6.5. Woohoo! It's not like if they were to go from like 5 inches to 8 or 9, I'd be like, damn,
Right.
that's a good improvement. It's only just slightly bigger.
Right. Right.
Well,
No, I'm waiting for the next
the
iteration.
Switch 2 or Switch revision or whatever a
Right.
couple years from now, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that will have a better internal processor. I don't care about the 4K stuff, honestly. 4K gaming, I really don't care about 4K gaming. Sorry.
But you have an OLED though, right? You have a nice TV.
Yeah, but like fix the internals so that you can get higher resolution or higher processing for like the newer stuff when it comes to gaming, because we
Mhm.
saw the announcement of Kingdom Hearts coming to the Switch, and all three games are cloud based. I would assume you could play the first one because it's a PS2 title, but apparently
Mhm.
not. Instead of remaking it or downgrading that to fit the Switch standards, I'm hoping that the next Switch is able to run higher end games
Right.
and be on par with everybody else.
Right.
And all the cosmetic stuff, then yeah, I welcome that. But I mostly want the new Switch, whenever that happens, to have a better internal unit inside or internal parts. You get what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I think the bottom of the barrel at least has to be not native 4K, but 1440p. I think that's the bottom of the barrel that they can probably get away with it because
Yeah.
Nintendo for years hasn't been. I still say the Switch is the best console of the last generation, not the new stuff because it's starting to show its age a little bit. But
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Yeah, it's great, especially on all the indie titles that you can play on that,
Oh yeah,
and the
yeah,
idea of taking it to go and having a AAA title on your
yeah.
hands, and like playing Metroid, for example, on the go. That's awesome.
That's my RPG machine. I love playing RPGs, and it's perfect for me because it's literally I could do a few matches, a few rounds, or whatever it is, and then put it down.
Oh yeah, and yeah, like I said, OLED, it looks amazing,
Hmm.
especially if you get that sweet white version with Metroid Dread. But it's the same Switch, it's the same one I have, just screen wise, it's a little different.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny to see people like, well, now I need it. Like, you don't really need it,
Hmm.
but okay.
All right,
True.
man. I gotta get out of here.
All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for supporting your favorite Omnibros. Let me remind you one final time that this show is brought to you courtesy of InStockTrades.com, our wonderful sponsor, where you can get all your collected editions, whether it's a manga, a trade paperback, hardcover, omnibus, whatever it may be when it comes to collected editions. You go to InStockTrades.com. $50 or more gets you free shipping and in your order, and wonderful packaging, wonderful customer service. And at the end of every month, we do a gift card giveaway valued at $50, open to international waters. That is all courtesy of InStockTrades.com, our wonderful sponsor. Also, next tomorrow it's manga night, and so stay tuned for that tomorrow night. And then Monday we'll be back talking hauls, previews, and reads, and all that fun stuff.
Hmm.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with our crazy shenanigans, talking about random stuff. Stay safe, everybody. Comics Guide, where can people find you on the internet?
Comics Guide 101 on YouTube. Comics Guide 101 on Twitter. Best way to get a hold of me.
Nice. As for me, you can find me on my channel, A Week in Geekdom, talking about anime, manga, comics, all that fun stuff. A Week in Geekdom. So thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody watching later. Leave your opinions on What If and Venom 2 and all that crazy stuff in the comment section down below. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe out there.
Hmm. Good night, everybody.
Don't watch Venom 2, though. Or maybe watch it. I don't know.